Hello, my name is Bill Nix. It's a known fact that when kids have art in school, they perform better, behave better, they get better grades, do better on tests, and have a better outlook on life. It's the power of the arts to inspire. Join us as we explore the wonderful world of infusing art with learning. Next on Cultural Capital. Hello, I'm Bill Nix. I'm here at Hidden Oaks Elementary School, and I tell you, it's been a long time since I've been in elementary school. Even the chair is a little lower than I expected. But we're going to talk about a very exciting project here at Hidden Oaks that was really coordinated by the Center for Creative Education. And with me here is Pam Miller, who's the chair of the board of Center for Creative Education. Welcome to Cultural Capital.
Bill, thank you so much for this opportunity today for CCE to highlight what we do and for our community. We truly appreciate you taking the time and interest.
And also we have Ronnie Gerstel, who is an artist and also a part of the Center for Creative Education.
Bill, thanks so much for having me.
And I tell you, Ronnie and Pam, this book on the Ellis Island effect is just tremendous. These are third graders at Hidden Oaks, and the enthusiasm that comes through, not just with this book, but what they learn and how they learned and the relationship that they had with the subject is just amazing. What did you do to these kids?
Well, really all I did was get them excited about what they were going to learn, and that's a natural progression when you're doing arts integration. From the minute I walk in, the tools that I bring in are different than what they're used to. They sense something different, something exciting is going on, and they're hooked right from the start, ready to learn.
Tell us a little bit about this whole Ellis Island effect and what you were trying to get over, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about, or ask you to talk about the process you go through.
Oh, sure.
What's the point of this?
Well, the unit, the curriculum, was to learn about immigration at the turn of the century, and European immigrants mostly coming into Ellis Island, into New York City. So that was our curriculum, and I was brought in to find some unique ways to teach that curriculum through arts projects, through dramatic activities, through writing activities.
Okay, so we're going to get a little bit deeper into that, but Pam, CCE, what's the mission of the Center for Creative Education?
Well, in a very short form, our mission is reinventing education through the arts. And that sets the platform for all of the great work that we're doing. Our true goal is to enhance education within Palm Beach County through the primary grades, and we're very, very fortunate that we have put together a platform which is combining an artist with a teacher, taking a conventional academic subject matter and doing multiple intelligence to enhance how a child will learn, how they will see the application of that subject matter going forward in their life.
Now, when you say multiple education, what does that mean?
Well, multiple intelligence is the combination, Ronnie just described it very well. How do you take music and apply it to a historical moment? How do you take music and apply it to an arts project? How do you take a history project, which was an academic subject matter, and show a child how history has impacted their own personal life?
Now, who funds CCE?
We get our funding from a variety of areas. We're very fortunate. We get funding basically from two primary areas. We have an after-school programming segment, and that's funded through the Children and Family Services and Primetime, and the LEAP program, which is what we worked on for the Ellis Island effect. That's through foundations, grants, and private donors.
And how long has CCE been in existence?
Well, we came into existence in '94, and actually we're functioning in 1995 as an organization.
It's been a long while then since you all have been here.
We have been. We still feel like a young organization because we still have lots to do, but we're very established in the community. with our enhancement programs into the educational system.
Okay. And Ronnie, how long have you been with the CCE?
I'm one of the pilot artists. I was with them in 1995.
Oh, wow.
When the program began.
And have you seen many changes then in terms of how you relate to the school district and the schools?
It's changed and evolved over the years, of course. Teachers at first were pretty resistant about the idea of an artist coming in, and I think some were concerned we might be taking over and telling them how they should be teaching, but it's not about that at all. It's always been about collaboration with the teacher.
Okay. Use this as an example and tell us how this process worked with the kids.
With the Ellis Island
Yeah.
effect? Okay, well, you start off with a hook, and our hook was to get them to think of themselves as immigrants. So we had a big world map, and the teacher and I had the students' pictures kind of all around the map, and the students had to go home, talk with their families, find out where their parents came from, or grandparents or great-grandparents, whoever had immigrated, and attach a yarn from their picture to that place. And by the time we finished the whole class, we had yarn crisscrossing all over the map, and they really got a concept that, whoa, this is not just something that happened to somebody else a long time ago, this happened to my family.
Oh, that's why I kind of felt that relationship that they had with what they were doing, because it was truly their families.
And it also opened a lot of communication between the families and the different generations among families.
Wow.
They started interviewing parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, getting the whole family involved.
And then what happened after that?
Well, that was our hook, and so that was our session one. Now we wanted to recreate what the Ellis Island experience was like for immigrants. So we actually had a giant Statue of Liberty that we built out of paper mache up. Her torch would have set the ceiling on fire had it been real.
Yeah.
Filled the room. That was our centerpiece. And we had the kids dressed in costumes. They became a character at Ellis Island. Maybe it was a nurse or a doctor who did an exam, somebody who registered them, messed up their name when they were checking in, as we know happened to some people. And we built an entire tenement in the corner of the room, about 325 square feet.
No
The
kidding.
room was taped off, and we hung sheets from the ceiling to create walls. And, oh boy, it just became real for them.
Well, I bet just the word tenement, I hadn't even heard of that probably.
Right. They had no idea what life was like at the turn of the century, and I think it gave the kids a really great appreciation for what they have today.
I bet it did. And we were talking about the chords and going to the different places. That's a geography lesson as well.
Absolutely.
So it helped out as...
We had language lessons, many, many lessons.
How do you find wonderful teachers like this?
We're very, very fortunate. It's interesting. We were reflecting recently about CCE and our artist community, and we actually are the largest employer of independent artists in Palm Beach County.
Oh, wow.
So we feel that that's a very, something we're very proud of because of the opportunities we give the artists as well as what it gives to us as a result of what we're doing. And as a result, we've learned, and I had the opportunity a few years ago to actually interview prospective artists for CCE. And it's unique because it's an artist who can also teach.
Right.
And there are wonderful artists that are in our community, but for them to also have the teaching skills in the combination, so it's really combining those two elements. And as we have needs, we reach out in the community. And there's a wonderful, wonderful group here that we have to work with.
So about how many artists do you have?
Currently we have 60 artists who are part of our program.
And how many schools are you impacting with this kind of artistic integration?
Generally on any academic time frame, 200 or 300 schools could be we could be impacting at any one time.
What would you tell other artists is the value of this kind of lesson?
Well, I think Ronnie and I will probably answer that one together because it's really important. I think through the artists that we do have as part of our programming, they see the value of not only the art form that they're an expert in, but the value of education. And when your heart reaches out and realizes how important it is for the future of our whole community to have our children as well educated as possible, because that is the basis of any community, is the quality of education. We look at the depth of the return that these children receive, as you're learning today, through the Ellis Island effect,
Yes.
the impact that it had on these children. The artists that understand that are the artists that become part of our program.
Super.
And we're so fortunate as artists to have a group like CCE that supports us, that puts us out in the schools, that gets us the work and makes the matches for us, makes the magic happen.
Tell you, well, congratulations. Thanks a whole lot, because you're really impacting the future, and you're doing it in a way that represents the power of the arts. So we appreciate that.
Pleasure to work that way.
When we come back, we're going to talk to a couple of other people about arts integration on a national level. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Raising a child means working with partners, people you can rely on, for expertise, advice, and support. But when drugs or drinking enter the picture, who do you turn to? Well, there's help for that too. The partnership at drugfree.org. You're not alone.
And we're back in the gallery area of the Cultural Council's new headquarters. And I'm sitting here with Gail Burnaford, who is a professor in the College of Education's Department of Curriculum, Culture, and Educational Inquiry. Is that correct?
Thank you. That's great. Good job.
Yeah, CCE and I. CC. And that's at Florida Atlantic University. So welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We have here Shawn Berry, who is our new Manager of Arts Education, but formerly Program Director at the Center for Creative Education. Shawn, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Bill. It's my pleasure to be here.
Very happy to have you here. To tell you
Thank
the truth.
you so much.
Thank you. And we're going to continue this conversation on arts integration, but I want to start off with you, Shawn, because I'm still kind of reeling from the Hidden Oaks Elementary School's Ellis Island project, and I know you were very intimate in designing that and making sure it went well. From your perspective, tell us a little bit more about some of the components of that.
Well, the Ellis Island effect was at CCE what we refer to as a LEAP, which is Learning Enriched Through Arts Partnerships. So this was a collaboration between one of our teaching artists, Ronnie Gerstel, a classroom teacher, Kim Lipinski, the visual arts teacher, the music teacher, the media specialist, the principal. It's unusual to have so many people involved in this, but there were, and that's why it was such a success. The theme was immigration.
Yeah.
And so the students, for the different curriculum areas they touched on social studies, history, and geography, math, as they measured the space for the tenements that they recreated in their living museum. They were even baking bread, so they were measuring the flour and the water to do that. Visual arts, they constructed the Statue of Liberty. They decorated their journals. For theater, they actually gave tours through the Living Museum, answered questions that anyone would ask them about their immigration to Ellis Island. They even performed 3 choral pieces taught by the music teacher related to immigration, which all had lessons in them about the Ellis Island immigration. And they created puppets. They were assigned immigrants that had come over. They wrote stories about how that immigrant felt. They created the puppet based on that immigrant.
Yeah.
And they went home, and with their families, they did research on their own family trees. And there were numerous stories from families saying that they had not actually gone back that far in their family tree to even know that their families had come from Ellis Island.
Wow.
And on top of that, the students brought in from their homes various artifacts to be used in the tenement that were actually in tenements that some of their family members had lived in.
Wonderful.
Overwhelming.
Well, and what you're bringing up is the collaboration, the integration of a lot of different disciplines within this study area, this one study area of Ellis Island, but it touched so many of those kids in a real way.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, touched them. They actually created one of the students wrote a letter to Ellen DeGeneres,
Oh.
and they wanted to take the show to her.
Oh, is that right? So it also allowed